Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Think Business Live. I'm looking forward to talking with Max Eddy. Max, it's great to connect with you. Looking forward to talking about your business. So people who are interested in opening up a franchise when it comes to bookkeeping, your company BooXkeeping franchise is going to give people kind of maybe open up their eyes on how they can start their own. And we'll talk a little bit about your business as well. So thanks for being here. You know, as a business coach who works with people like yourselves and solopreneurs to Fortune companies all over the globe, I work with people who are successful and stuck to help them get unstuck. And I love this podcast because I get to have guests like you who provide content to get people unstuck. And so, where would you say the biggest mistakes when it comes to organizing yourself for being efficient for your bookkeeper, people get the most stuck? And how would you recommend they get unstuck?
Well, first of all, John, thanks for having me here. Once again, my name is Max Emma, and I've started the business about 13 years ago with my co-founder. So I learned so much over these years. That's not my first rodeo. I've had businesses before. But to answer your question, what I've seen happen, this is what happened to me. My biggest mistake was trying to do everything myself. And that's what I see other people are doing. They're like, well, I'm better than other people. Why do I need to hire somebody to do the bookkeeping? I can do it myself. I mean, why do I need to hire a salesperson? I'm way better than other people, so I can do it myself. The problem is you can't do it all yourself. At some point, the 24 hours a day do finish. Plus, for whatever reason, nobody wants to talk to their bookkeeper at 9 p.m. On the weekend. So you only have so many hours you can do business development, or you can talk to the clients. So that's the biggest thing that I've seen, and that's what helped me, the realization that, hey, I cannot do it all myself, and I have to have a team, and I have to offload it.
Yeah, I think that's right. Did I pronounce your name wrong? Did I say your name wrong by mistake?
Yeah, you did. It's okay.
Sorry. No, because I know someone named Max Eddy. And so that's where like the Max and then the E got me wrong. So my apologies. I realized
it's all good.
I realized that you said your name. My apologies. Sometimes I get
with the last name Emma, people looking for a woman anyway. So I'm like, no, you got
I knew it was Max Emma. So anyway, nice to meet you, Max Emma. All right. So let's talk about something. So thanks for that feedback. And I agree with you. You got to be part of success in all businesses, being able to delegate. So I appreciate that. And I think if we only have 2,000 to 2,400 hours in a year that we can work. And so why spend 100 or 200 in something that we're not exceptional at, that we could delegate and be more productive? So thank you for that. Let me ask you a question. When it comes to, I want to talk a little bit about, because you work with people. I want to talk about your business right now. And so you're a bookkeeper, right? We'll get to the franchise piece in a minute, but you also have your own bookkeeping business. And so when it comes to, staying ahead of your books, right? How do you recommend people stay ahead of it and organize themselves so it doesn't get overwhelming, whether they're using somebody or not? Just one way that they can organize themselves more effectively.
So full disclaimer, I don't know if it's a good or bad. I'm not a bookkeeper. John, the last thing you want me to do is to do your books, because that would suck. And that was the realization that I had. I mean, I'm a finance person, but I've been out of the finance world for 25 years, or 22 years being an entrepreneur. So you don't want me to do your books. And when I realized that, I started hiring people who are accountants and who know how to do it. So I can talk about the bookkeeping business. It is my business. We will talk about it, but I'm not a bookkeeper. But to answer your questions, nevertheless,
but you do have a bookkeeping business.
I do have a bookkeeping business, and we do bookkeeping mostly for franchise brands. We do bookkeeping for about 95 franchise brands. Fast Sign, Signorama, Sport Clips. They're among our clients in all 50 states. And again, there are 95 names. Some of them are household names. Some are, new brands that are just coming out to the market. So that's our bread and butter, but we don't discriminate and do one-off bookkeeping for, small clients locally. So that's how it all started before we went into franchising. But how can people stay ahead of it, be organized? think about it all the time. Um, have your receipts, your statements all in one place, because month end comes and you just start looking and you already, oh, I forgot where I put this, I forgot where I put this. With statements, it's a little bit easier because it's all digitized now, so you can get access from your app or from the website. With your receipts and the backup material, if you get it in the mail and you misplaced it or threw it away, that's it. It'll take a long time to request it, and then you're not sure how to account for it and where to allocate it to. So that's number one. Number two, the same thing I told you, know what you're good at.
Yeah.
Outsource everything that is not your main business, and a lot of people don't do that. And if you ask me, this is the mistake. What I use a lot with clients and my team actually is the word opportunity cost. Okay, fine. It'll take you 5-6 hours to do bookkeeping, but what can you do with this stuff?
Yeah.
Can you go and get more clients? Can you spend time with your kids? Can you just go and get some sleep? Because sometimes we need that too.
Right. No, I agree with that. I think it's so important, and I don't think a lot of people look at opportunity costs enough. So I appreciate you chatting about that. I want to do a mini business course and talk about franchising, because you help people basically own their own bookkeeping business. You're the number one bookkeeping franchise, BooXkeeping, franchise.com. And so let's talk about 3 easy steps on, making this happen, how to make this happen. I'm thinking of bookkeepers that, are maybe, really craving to start their own business and not really sure how to do it and what that first step and why this is kind of, in a box for them in a way. And so can you kind of talk about, to that person, what are 3 ways to be thinking and getting started with your franchise model?
So first step would be, just let's have a conversation. There is no money involved. This is just a conversation to see if we're a match. BooXkeeping is very big on culture, so we have to match on culture. And yes, we've said no to some people because it just wasn't a good match. It doesn't make them bad people or are us bad people.
Right.
All it means that we are not compatible, and I don't want to go into the agreement with somebody who is not compatible with my team. Our hashtag is cool bin counters. So I'm looking for somebody who is cool, somebody who is either cool already or wants to become cool, wants to get trained. We call it being books. Somebody who wants to be books and understand, where we're coming from. Because let's be honest, accounting and bookkeeping is pretty boring. And I don't want to run a boring bookkeeping business, since that's a huge part of my life. I want it to be fun for myself as well.
Yeah.
So
who is the perfect match for your franchise model?
So right now we have 8 franchisees with a couple more on the way, and it's a mixed bag. So we have several people who were in the corporate world and wanted to get out and have their own business. We recently on Friday just signed an agreement with somebody in Frisco, Texas, Dallas area, who is an existing bookkeeping business but wanted to take the business to the next level. And then we also sold to a CPA firm in Las Vegas, Nevada, who does taxes, but they were always struggling how to grow their bookkeeping business. I mean, a couple of the things that we do that's unique, we do provide staffing to do the work if they want to. And, all they have to do is just pay hourly rate. We provide the benefits, we provide everything. We provide full training, talking about people who are not bookkeepers. Our training is 2 weeks. And then for the next 6 months to a year, we provide sales training, accounting training, and executive coaching, which is done by my co-founder. So something that just that value of this 3 is more than the franchise fee they pay. All right.
Yeah.
And forget about anything
so number
else.
one is so number one is talk to you, and the perfect match is somebody that you just described. All right. So now that person comes in the door. What's number 2 or 3?
Well, number 2 is to actually, all the franchises are regulated by federal law and sometimes by state law. It's a very regulated industry, what you can say, what you cannot say. So we all work by this document called franchise development document, franchise disclosure document, sorry, FTD, which we have to file every year. So we cannot say whatever is not there. We can't just go and say, hey, you're going to become a millionaire in 3 weeks. This is illegal. I cannot say that. But we do show the numbers for the past 12 years, so people can look at the historical data and they can ask questions about this number. So the next step is to actually have the FTD review, to talk to my sales team and see if we can answer any questions about the process, how it works. After that, they talk to potential candidates, talk to me as the CEO of the company. We call it executive call, where they can ask me questions, and I'll tell them what I know and how we can help and how we would work together. And then if they're still interested, the next step would be to go to a virtual discovery day where they get a chance to meet the rest of the team, executive team, and ask them the questions and get training from them. Not necessarily training, but like an outline how everything is going to go. Why? It's an open conversation. It's all done virtually, so you don't need to travel anywhere. And then after that, they get a chance to talk to my existing franchisee and ask them questions.
It's great.
And
it's great.
If it's still a match, if it's still a go, then we go into signing a contract, and then where the magic begins.
Yeah, it's great. So I appreciate that, and thanks for breaking down kind of the initial first steps. I think your website is really detailed and gives people a simple roadmap, but thanks for breaking down it to kind of the simple. So I want to talk a little bit about your path, right? Everybody's got a path to starting their own business, and I think a lot. We're talking about franchising right now, and we're looking at people who are looking to start their own business and feel empowered and have in many cases, I find, the freedom that they're looking for. But everybody's path is, success is never a straight line. And so if you were to give a mini life course on how you got to today and point out the three, things that you learned along the way that got you to today, what would those be? Starting with number one.
Well, number one, me coming at the age of 18 from the former Soviet Union with my family without English and, immigrating from one country to another. And that's in the early 90s. That's from, like completely different country than the Soviet Union is now. Obviously, it was just the end of communism, and moving to the United States was a big shock. So lesson number one for me was how I can learn English and thinking outside of the box. I mean, yes, I was going to school to learn English, but without practicing, it did not help. So back then, being 18, I just came up with my own know-how, which helped me to move to the next level. And that was pretty much, I would be going to payphone and calling all the credit card companies in the United States and talking to them for 45 minutes. And they were explaining to me why I can't have a credit card. Obviously, they have a credit history. I knew that much. But back then, all the call centers were in the United States. So I was talking to somebody with perfect English who were listening to me, explaining to me. I was asking questions. So I would hang up with them, call another credit card company. And I would have 2 to 3 hours a day practicing English over the phone, which helped me a lot. And it was completely enjoying San Diego weather, staying outside. I didn't want to be home because I was living with my grandmothers, my parents, like huge, number of people. So I was just going outside and doing it. And that took my English to the next level. So that's my life story number one, think outside of the box. Obviously, I haven't read about it. I just came up with that on the spot, and it helped me to get to the next level. So that's number one. Number two, I got myself through school, got a job in the corporate world, and then after 4 years I left, joining a family business, and then taking it from, it was landscaping maintenance, taking it from 3 employees to 96 employees. So it was, became a huge operation. All of a sudden I had 96 people reporting to me, and it was awesome until it wasn't, until the recession started in 08 or 09, and I lost everything. So straight from having 96 employees, went into bankruptcy, lost everything, had to sell the house to pay the payroll for the employees, and pretty much just started from scratch with my wife, 1 baby, and then 1 baby on the way. So wasn't fun, but I'm so thankful for this experience. That was better than the business school. That was better than anything else. As much as I learned, and I understand now that failure, especially in the beginning, mine wasn't in the beginning, is actually really good because it gets you down and then it lets you come back up.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? Ford, I think, filed bankruptcy 4 times. And look, I mean, they're doing not bad for themselves now.
Yeah.
A lot of other businesses did the same. I'm not comparing myself to them by any means, but at a time, I saw this is it. I saw they're never going to get out of it, and this is going to be horrible, and this is it. And I have to go and work, minimum wage at fast food place, and that's the thoughts that were coming to my head. Luckily, they didn't stay there for long. But now looking back, that's my life lesson number 2. Just don't be afraid, to fail. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's normal. So that was actually a really good thing that happened. And one of the reasons it happened, it was we were growing so fast that we didn't look at our own financials. Even though I'm a finance person, my then wife, who became a co-founder of BooXkeeping later, Elena Emma, she's still involved in the business. We're still doing it together. We're not married anymore, but that's maybe lesson number 3 on the way, that you can still be friends and not being married, and still doing business together, and everything's fine. So it doesn't have to be as bad as a show on TV. I mean, all this divorces and all of this stuff. So it's been 10 years, and we still have a great relationship. So it happens,
Right.
not often, but does happen. But we both finance people, but we were growing the business so fast that we didn't pay attention to the finance. And we were saying, well, it would be nice if we outsource it and they had someone to do it for us. And that was the first ideas of, maybe starting a bookkeeping company. But we
That's
had to
great.
feed it. So we started the landscaping company again. This time we're more successful. We sold it because we learned from other the first business. And then we were looking for to actually outsource the bookkeeping. And I went to 20 different bookkeepers in San Diego at the time. Mind you, that was a long time ago. Google wasn't what it is right now. So I got just 20 names, and I got the estimate for the same scope of work ranging from $200 to $2,000 for exactly the same scope. And my business education told me something is up. Something is wrong. You can't have such a big gap.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity. And that's when we jumped in and started BooXkeeping in 2011 from the garage. Typical American story. And then after a few years, we got the first employee, and
It's great.
That's it.
It's great. What I appreciate about your story is the kind of the through line of resilience. No matter what seemed to be thrown your way, you seem to, tap into your resilience. And I think for any person, specifically an entrepreneur, resilience is a very necessary ingredient for your character. Being able to, just kind of get back to center and move forward is key. So I appreciate that. Let's do a quick speed round, Max. Tell me a book that's had a big impact on you.
10x is easier than 2x by Ben Hardy and Dan Sullivan.
I love that book. That's a great book. Yeah,
it changed the whole concept how I run my business. I just started business number 3 because apparently 2 wasn't enough, because I offloaded a lot of things that I'm doing, and it actually changed the quality of both personal and business life.
Yeah, that's a great book. I also I love the books that they do together. They have another one, Who Not How, which is by them as well. It's great. A piece of best piece of wisdom you've ever received.
Don't be afraid to fail. And honestly, I don't know who I got it from. I don't remember, but I know for sure that somebody told me along the way. At least that's how I remember it, and that what gave me strength to take my life to the next level. And I mean, every time, I mean, there have been failures, like I'm a normal person, but learning from it, take it to the next level. That's the best advice.
Great. Finish your sentence. One thing every entrepreneur can do to tap into their resilience is?
Just do it.
That's great. It's great. Max Emma, I appreciate your time today. I love this. I love this podcast because I get to talk to people all over the globe who are in alignment with my mission to get people unstuck and get them to their next level of potential. So I'm grateful that you shared your story. I appreciate your vulnerability and everything that you shared. It's always good to hear people who are, where they are, but also sharing their vulnerabilities and, some of the ups and downs, the downs as well as the ups. So thank you for that. Think community. We talk a lot about this show, on this show, about resilience, about picking yourself up and seeing the positive side of things. Max, you really brought that out today and everything that you talked about. So thank you for that. Tell everybody who your ideal clients are and where they can connect with you, Max.
So the ideal clients would be somebody who is not afraid to fail, somebody who wants to do something with their life, who wants to grow together. We are a young franchise. We're not a young company, but young franchise. So now people who are coming in, they're coming in the early stage. So we are building it together. It's one family. We call it BooXkeeping family. It's not a BooXkeeping franchise. It's really a family. Employees, franchisees, we all in it together. So you can go to BooXkeeping franchise. There is also BooXkeeping.com, but it tells you about our corporate bookkeeping services. But the website for franchise is BooXkeeping franchise. Find me on LinkedIn. As far as I know, there is only one Max Emma, so I'm there. And then just Google us, and you can learn more. I would love to talk to everybody and anybody. And even if we're not a good match, maybe people learn something from it, and that will help them later with their career.
Good. Max, thank you. And that's BooXkeeping, BOOX, keepingfranchise.com. And Think Community, if you want to talk about growing your business and coaching, you can reach me at jondwoskin.com. Max, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
John, thank you. I appreciate it.